Inter Miami against the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls actually led 1-0 at the break, but then Inter Miami exploded in the second half, scoring 6 goals en route to a 6-2 victory. Matias Rojas scored twice. Luis Suarez got himself a hat trick. But the story, Lionel Messi with a goal and 5 assists. You heard that right. A goal and 5 assists all in the second half. He set all sorts of MLS single game records for assists and goal contributions. So Messi continuing to amaze us, even by his standards. This was mind-boggling.
Yes, this was amazing for the man, but this was also, I think, in a bigger picture, how good Inter Miami can be and maybe going forward is going to be. Because, again, this was also still an undermanned Inter Miami team. This was a team that, as you mentioned, Rojas, comes on, gets goals. So they keep getting better and better. And Messi doing not just Messi magical things, but in this context, historical things. This is why he leads the show. This is why you talk about him. Whether you like him or not is irrelevant, to be quite honest with you, because you're still going to click, and you're still going to watch, and you're still going to ooh and ah, even if you're a hater out there. And it's wonderful to see. At this point, our lack of surprise when he does these things, that in and of itself is almost disrespectful, because he has done this year after year after year, and he shows up, and like any big star, even when everybody's watching, he does things and then builds upon those things and does things in an even bigger way. In this case, like I said, a historical way. It was just amazing to watch, especially in the context of they weren't great in the first half, and obviously on a scoreboard, you thought, this is going to be one of those days where a really cagey type of Red Bull team come in and just kind of neuter and shut down this attack from Inter Miami. And Messi had other ideas.
I've argued that if Messi had not scored a single goal in the last 15 years, he'd still be considered one of the best players of this generation, because I find his passing orgasmic. The vision he has, he puts the perfect weight on every ball. I could watch videos of Messi through balls like for the rest of my life and be entertained. I find that element of his game absolutely sensational.
Yeah, and he only needs a millisecond to see and to extrapolate it out, and then obviously has that the great touch. And I think that this team is growing with him, and so now those runs behind that in the past you wouldn't even think of, or let alone to try, you're saying, all right, there's a chance, and a good chance, that this guy is going to thread that needle. And so I am going to try it. And it puts defenders and defenses now on their heels. They have to take a step back. They have to be thinking about that, and the blindside runs and the backdoor type of stuff that's happening. Just it's just amazing. Now, Mosse, when it comes to Messi, I got a lot of calls over there on the X machine about what this says and maybe what this doesn't say, and what it says about Major League Soccer that he is doing this. Is this, in a strange way, a bad look for MLS in terms of that constant assessment of how good or bad it is and the quality level of the league, that Messi is able to do this?
Maybe to some degree, but like I said, Messi's soccer IQ is so high that even if he's diminished physically and can't run around as much anymore, I think if you drop him into any league in the world, he would still find a way to have these sumptuous assists, and by timing his runs into the box, scoring some goals. So it's, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's that bad a look, because it is Messi after all.
Yeah, it is. It does get a little exhausting when people, use this as, their referendum on what MLS is and what MLS isn't. And, when Messi was regularly winning games and breaking ankles and creating highlights and taking souls over there in La Liga and Liga and Champions League, or by the way, winning a World Cup, nobody used that success and his consistent success to criticize the competitions that he was playing on. And by the way, there are plenty of teams and there are plenty of players that are going up against Messi right now. And I think this season is going to be fascinating. And just because he is dominating right now doesn't mean that Inter Miami necessarily is going to win anything. But we're here for it. It's wonderful. And again, for all of you that are whining and screaming and yelling about all of the Messi coverage, all right, keep whining, but we know you watch it. we have the science. We have the data. Messi sells. That's the way it is. Where should we go now,
And last point, then we'll move on. The Copa America is interesting in that regard. The longer Messi keeps playing for Argentina and doing well, it in a way validates everything he's doing in MLS. If Messi has a great game in a Copa America final this summer against Brazil, then who's going to argue that his success in MLS is only due to the lack of quality in the league when he's still doing it in major tournaments against the likes of Brazil? So we'll keep an eye on that this summer. Seattle and the Galaxy finished 0-0. Not a bad result for the Galaxy when you consider that Puig and Jovic did not play.
Yeah, I think that they will take that, even against a diminished and certainly not great Seattle team. But without a guy like Ricky Puig on the field, yeah, I think Greg Vanney will be fine going on the road and getting this. Not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to what the Galaxy is, but also when it comes to Seattle. Seattle at some point is going to have to go on a run if they hope to salvage this season.
And the Galaxy slipped to third in the West. They trail RSL in Minnesota. RSL beat SKC 1-0 on an Arango goal. So right now they're sitting atop the West.
Yeah, I mean, this time last year, Mosse, we were talking about, Greg Vanney out and just another year of crap when it comes to the Galaxy, but they've turned it around. And, eventually you're going to find a way to get it right. And it looks like, at least so far, they have.
You mentioned some great goals this past weekend. Did you see the Bernadeschi strike for Toronto against Dallas? That was sensational.
Like I said, these long distance shots, it's good. This is fun to see, and they're highlights. They're good for the highlights out there. But again, they don't happen a lot. But I'm glad that it's that it is in the arsenal of these players, and it's fun to see. And it makes you, as a goalkeeper, it makes you as a defense, obviously worry about it on a consistent basis. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.